We're going to go to audience questions in a minute. I'm going to ask my last question before we go to the audience, just to reaffirm. If you have a question, and let's really focus on a question, it should be brief to get more people in, and you should identify yourself. So my last question will be, I don't think we can leave this discussion without just asking you broadly about what happened last night. Very eventful day on many scores, but the fact that we have Israel striking Iran and, in escalatory, I think would be an understatement. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, deeply concerned. I think we know anything in the Middle East. And look, I know there's a lot of folks here and across the country. The situation in Gaza is intolerable, and it became a central focus in the campaign, and I would say rightfully so. Human rights issues, how we're going to try and attempt to get a two-state solution where we can allow folks to live peacefully and coexist and have their own self-control or self-determination. The issue now in the spreading of this, and I have to be candid with you, I was there during the debates, and I voted for the Iran nuclear deal. I think it was one of the most and I said in there, just to be clear, with the Russian ambassador, with the French ambassador, with our negotiators, with everybody who was there to bring about the capacity to stop Iran's nuclear capacity, but in a way that was not so punitive that we would hamper some of their economic growth. I truly worry now. I'm sure there's great strategic thinkers in the Trump administration that have now said, how is this going to, a tweet from the president today said, I told them they should have done something, and now here we are. Yeah, here we are with the Middle East back on fire in a way that is now expanded. Iran has to retaliate in their mind, I'm sure. And now, who is the voice in the world that can negotiate some type of agreement in this? Who holds the moral authority? Who holds the ability to do that? Because we are not seen as a neutral actor. And we maybe never were. I don't want to tell anybody that. I think there's a lot of people who say you always leaned one way in this. But I think there was at least an attempt to be somewhat of the arbitrator in this. We saw President Carter do it with Begin and Sadat. We've had certain wins along the way that were actually mutually beneficial both ways. Now I ask who that is. And I mean, consistently over and over again, we're going to have to face the reality. It might be the Chinese. And that goes against everything they say they're trying to do in terms of the balance of power. So I would just have to say my heart goes out for this. Ukraine continues to go on. Gaza continues to be a humanitarian disaster, and now it's expanded even further.
Well, I definitely rest easy knowing Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of Defense. So,
I shouldn't share this. He's a Minnesotan. We can't pick the middle. Prince, Pete Hegseth,